Well, the U.S. economy did not generate a single job in August, and that hasn't happened since World War II. So Thursday, President Obama will announce his new jobs plan to the nation.
Joining us now is investment advisor, president and CEO of Integrated Wealth Management, Jim Casey, with what he thinks the president and Congress have to do. And the first thing on your list, Jim, first of all, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us, is business incentives. Why should businesses who are sitting on millions of dollars in cash, a lot of them, Apple on $76 billion, why should they be given incentives to hire people? Why do they need incentives?
Well, I'd rather not talk about the big businesses. Let's talk about the small businesses. And that actually makes up more of our employment than do the big businesses. And we have to not seeing, there's been some short-term incentives. We need some sustainable incentives
what do you
to
mean,
actually
like
start
what?
the hiring. We've got to have tax incentives. We've got to have financial help for the small mom and pop businesses in this country to get back on track again. We've got to get confidence, because the confidence is going to spawn hiring, and hiring is what we're all talking about. No one's getting hired. Until we can hire people, until we can get the consumer confidence back, we're not going to see this recovery take off.
And speaking of consumer confidence powers 70% of our economy, but people are not spending. Why not?
Well, I'm going to take that back. I mean, actually, the words that they're saying, "Are you confident?" is a little bit in contrary to some of the actions. We've actually seen some really good numbers in the second largest spending season that this country has, and that's back to school. We've actually seen the largest year-to-year increase in consumer spending than we have since 2006.
But you still say we need more economic stability to get people to go out there and spend.
Absolutely. They've got it. Well, again, they're spending, they're seeming like they're spending, but it has to be sustainable, because as soon as we hear some negative news, there's a drawback in what they're doing. So we've got to get this thing back on track. Again, we've had some short-term stimulus, but nothing that is sustainable. And if we don't have hiring numbers, no one's going to feel confident about getting back to work, about spending, about stimulating our stock market.
Okay, here's where I have to challenge you, because someone has to.
Everybody does.
Your third point is that nobody should be taxed at a higher rate, not even the rich.
Yet. I mean,
what do you mean by that?
Well, because we have to, again, if we start taxing Americans and the middle taxpayer and the lower income taxpayers, again, they're going to feel their pocketbooks being weakened. We've got to get them back out there and spending.
But what about people who are making a lot of money? Warren Buffett says, hey, you know, we should be paying higher taxes.
And there should be some taxes, again, towards the rich. The luxury items are still being continued to be bought, and there's taxes paid on those luxury items. We can't have this broad-based tax increase, because otherwise consumers, again, are not going to reach into their pockets and spend and stimulate the economy. People have to feel confident. Two things have to happen in Washington, and they have to start cooperating. They have to start putting some plans in place. You mentioned Obama's plan. Come on, he's had plans that has been sitting on desks forever. Nobody is cooperating back in Washington. I'd rather see consumers start spending and start telling their elected officials, cooperate, get something in place. I wish there was a deadline for this job market plan, just like there was for our debt ceiling, because until there was a deadline, nobody cooperated.
All right, Jim Casey, boy, you're fiery, aren't you?
He's passionate
Get us
about
back to
finances.
work.
All right, Jim Casey, of course, CEO of Integrated Wealth Management. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks
I really
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
You got it. Happy
Thank
Labor Day.
you.
All right, same to you.